Aliens Explored is a podcast exploring famous and obscure cases of UFO sightings, alien abductions and other strange events from both a believing and a sceptical perspective whilst keeping an open mind. I'm Stu Jackson, a professional actor and amateur ufologist with a particular interest in the crop circle phenomenon. I'll be debating that otherworldly visitations are real. The truth is out there.
And I'm Neil Kelly. I'm a professional actor as well and used to work for the military as an intelligence analyst. I'll be arguing from a more doubtful point of view. I mean, it's all a bit far-fetched, isn't it?
In April 2010, a volcanic eruption on Eyjafjallajo kull in Iceland caused thousands of flights to be cancelled across Europe and tens of thousands of air travellers unable to get where they needed to go as a plume of ash spread across thousands of miles. But one Sky News report showed footage of the plume of ash that seemed to show a strange V-shaped, unidentified flying object inside it. Join myself and Neil here on Aliens Explored as we discuss the 2010 Icelandic volcano and the UFO contained within it.
Hello listeners and welcome to another episode of Aliens Explored, your weekly look at the mysterious skies. I should have this off pat by now, shouldn't I? Actually, mysterious skies, bottom of the sea, smoke-filled rooms, and all the other things associated with UFOs, UAPs, and government shenanigans all around them. I'm one of your hosts, Neil Kelly.
And I'm your other host looking at government shenanigans is quite a wide topic. Yes, I'm your other host, Stu Jackson.
That's a whole new podcast series, that.
that's Oh, British government shenanigans abound at the moment.
Yes. Now, before we get to the business at hand, I've got a few shout-outs that some way overdue.
Right. Before you do that, a very, very quick apology to our listeners for this going out a little bit later than planned. So we normally put our episodes out at 4 p.m. on a Friday. That's 4 p.m. GMT UK time. But we're actually recording this episode due out 4th of February at 4 p.m. We're recording it is, as I look at the clock now, it is 7 minutes past 4 on Friday the 4th of February. So I will be editing this and getting it out as soon as possible to you. So it is going to be a little late, maybe a couple of hours late. So apologies to our listeners for that. We can't
be sorry enough, but do let us know if we welcome any feedback. We prefer positive feedback, but we like to hear if you're upset. So talking of feedback, got a few shout outs. We heard from Jonathan from Maine in New England, who's a Bible student, and he enjoyed episode 24, which was Jesus an extraterrestrial. I think that was the theme, wasn't it? And
yes.
He didn't seem to take offence at anything we'd said. And in fact, he said he has some ideas that might shore up some of the theories. So we'd love to hear them, Jonathan.
Jonathan has actually responded with many of those theories. So that's something that we can talk about at a later date. And thank you for that, Jonathan.
Cool. Next up, we got it's Israel. Israel, as you remember, put us on to Admiral Byrd, and happily, the ill health which saw him lying awake on a couch at night so as not to disturb his sleeping wife, is actually his health is improving after being advised to eat Brussels sprouts by a Serbian doctor. Now, Brussels sprouts are. Yeah, no, they're not popular with a lot of people. A lot of people say they ruin Christmas, but I'm glad you have the fortitude to go ahead with the treatment, Israel, and your health is improving as a consequence.
Absolutely, glad you're feeling better, Israel. Brussels sprouts that get very much like the topic of UFOs, very divisive subject. I love them. I love Brussels sprouts.
I like them as well. If they're sort of done with maybe a little bit of what they call them, lardons, little bits of little cubes of bacon on them, and it's always fun to, if you're around someone's house, to feed one to their dog to make it fart, isn't it?
When I was a kid, we'd have them at Christmas, and they'd be cooked with walnuts.
Nice.
That was my mum's kind of special way of doing sprouts.
My mum's special.
I don't normally like walnuts.
my mum's special is she would put them onto the boil sometime around the middle of September, and so they will be nicely, thoroughly cooked in time for Christmas Day. Israel asks, what is the best platform to listen to us on? That's a matter of opinion, I guess.
That's whatever platform is most easily accessible to you, I would say.
They're all much for muchness. I guess it's all down to...
Yeah, I listen to my podcasts on Spotify. Now, Spotify has come under a lot of fire recently, and a lot of people are boycotting Spotify, and I can understand why. So I ought to say, historically, I've listened to podcasts on Spotify. But so we put out our podcast primarily on Podbean. Podbean is our sort of podcast supplier, if you like. But from there, it goes off all over the place. It goes to Apple Podcasts. It goes to Pandora is a very popular one. I mean, ironically, Pandora is probably our biggest. That most people listen to us through Pandora. We can't listen to our own show through Pandora, though, Neil, because we're in the UK.
How ironic.
Isn't it, though? But yeah, I don't really think it matters where you listen to us, as long as you're enjoying the show.
Absolutely, and we hope that your improved health won't see an end to your listening to our show now that you can sleep at nights with your wife. D.
But if you go to our website, just to finish answering that, sorry. If you go to our website of aliensexplored.com, that does take you straight to our Podbean, and there is a player built in. There you go.
Enjoy.
Yes.
So D contacted us via our Facebook page. We were meant to have mentioned him in the last show, but somehow things got a bit heated. The red mist came down and we forgot about it. D asks about a certain subject that we are going to talk about a missing flight. Shall I?
Yes, absolutely.
No, but the flight Mike Hotel 370 that went missing in Southeast Asia. Yes, we are going to talk about it in a later show.
Yes, I can tell you we're a few episodes away from that. We're planning to talk about that on the episode that'll be coming out early March. That's the plan. Plans can change.
Plans do change, especially our plans.
Our plans regularly change, but yes. That is episode 81 is the plan for that. So right. Keep watching this space.
Good. We've also heard from our old friend Ben from Central Utah Paranormal Investigations. He sent us a video message via YouTube. Always lovely to hear from you, Ben. And I'm glad we seem to be sort of on the same page regarding interdimensionality.
He did. Now, Ben is absolutely lovely, Ben. Ben, very, very much in my good... So hello, Ben, and hello to everyone at Central Utah Paranormal. Our very good friends there. Ben sent me a lovely package for my birthday.
Nice.
A package of treats.
Hey.
There was some lovely stuff in there. Lots of sweets and Hershey's chocolate.
Hershey's, wow.
Yes. It didn't last very long. No, I've got a little bit of it left, but yeah, no, it's absolutely smashing.
You can get them over here now, can't you? Hershey bars.
Can you?
Yeah, not everywhere, but certain places you can. I couldn't tell you where offhand, but I know I've seen them somewhere.
Right. Other chocolate bars are available.
Other chocolate bars are available.
We're not sponsored by Hershey's. We're not sponsored by Central Utah Paranormal, although, hey, talk to us.
Although, yes, if Hershey's, someone from Hershey's is listening and would like to sponsor us, we will mention Hershey bars in every episode. Finally, the last shout out I've got is from Ty, who sent a little message saying that he was particularly looking forward to this episode because I said I was going to unload because as I say, things were getting a bit heated in the last episode. I've calmed down a bit now, Ty, but I expect I'll work up a head of steam and let rip.
Yes, yes. I think rubbing his hands with glee in anticipation of this episode because of that, which I'm trying not to take personally. Yeah, you were getting quite het up. So, is it in relation to today's topic? You're getting quite het up.
I think it is in relation to today's topic, and I think it was last week's topic. Did we talk about the tsunami in the last episode, or was it the episode before?
Last episode was our crop circle roundup.
Of course it was, the one before.
Yeah, the one before was the Japanese Utsurabune. The one before that was when we talked about Israel's. But the one before that, episode 73, was the 2004 tsunami. UFOs.
Doesn't time
so you've
fly?
been holding on to this anger for
I've been
quite
holding
some
on to
time.
this rage, yes. It's burned a hole in my gut. I've got an ulcer. I don't sleep with the wife anymore. my grinding teeth keep her awake at night.
Okay, I was going to say there are pills available for that. But yeah, so today's topic then, we'll lead into today's topic, and I'm sure this is going to set you off. I feel confident this is going to set you off. And it is not dissimilar to when we talked about the 2004 tsunami UFOs, because this is back in 2010. We had the Icelandic volcanic eruption of, and I'm going to attempt this one, Eyjafjallajökull. Eyjafjallajökull. I'm sure it should be said more together in one go, but
yes,
that's not an easy one for me to say.
No. I'm sure it sounds like two syllables when someone from Iceland says it properly.
Having heard it, no, it sounds like a lot. But this was the 2010 volcanic eruption that caused massive disruption, certainly over Europe, grounded a lot of flights for a number of days, didn't it?
It was really weird that because I live in southwest London, not far from Heathrow Airport. We got the noise of planes. We've got planes. Yeah, they're still quite low when they fly over here, either coming into land or taking off. That's when they're really noisy. But it was just weirdly quiet, and there were no jet trails in the sky. Nothing, just natural. You could have filmed a nice period movie.
Yeah,
with lots of sky and no vapor trails in the sky. It was really strange. And it was a shame when because apparently the air was full of dust from this volcano, which you couldn't see. It looked like clear blue skies, but apparently a jet trying to make its way through that would have had a hard time.
And I can understand why when you see the footage of the ash cloud, and I safety first. As much as it did cause a lot of disruption and a lot of upset to people. Safety first, definitely. But specifically as part of this, there was some, over here in the UK, it came through as on Sky News, which is like our version of Fox News.
I think Sky News is a little more grounded in
maybe a little
objective reporting.
But it is the same owners, I believe. Speaking of aircraft, I've got an aircraft light. It seems right outside my window
right on
at the
cue.
moment. But carrying on. So on Sky News, they were reporting this ash cloud. You had some footage of it, and there suddenly they zoom in, and there's this strange V-shaped either object or collection of objects appears to be inside the ash cloud itself. Very, very bizarre. Were you able to see the footage when you've done your research for this episode, Neil?
Yeah, because when I was looking this up, there weren't actually many articles about it, but there were YouTube videos, and I saw one which was focused on the volcano, and then suddenly you see this bright light, this object come from the sort of top right of the screen and head down as if it's sort of flying downwards across the volcano. Which
sounds
be
like a different one. That sounds like a different UFO. Are you sure that was the... because there was another volcano in that same year that had a UFO buzzing it.
So many volcanoes.
I know, right? Which is a bizarre thing in of itself.
No, I think volcanoes are probably more common than...
oh, no, I mean
than we realise.
The fact that they got UFOs footage... as part of them. But
no,
anyway,
was...
to break the silence while you're looking that up.
I clicked on YouTube and I've got a hair loss advert, so I won't listen to that. That's the thing with YouTube. That's how you pay for it, by watching, and it's appropriate for me. And
you can forward the link to me as well.
Yeah.
We're politically challenged on this show.
Now, since we've seen since we discussed the Asian tsunami and the UFOs, I watched on your recommendation a show about UFOs on our Channel 5.
Yes, you did.
For our American listeners, people like me grew up with 3 TV channels. There was a 4th one in the 1980s, which was truly groundbreaking. Yes. And then, bizarrely, in the late 1990s, just as everyone was getting ready to go digital, they launched a new commercial analog terrestrial TV channel.
Yes, Channel 5.
Channel 5, which mostly has documentaries, all sorts of shows. Well, the documentaries are either about Nazis or sharks, for the most part. It's not noted for being quality TV, but there was this documentary on UFOs, and it was the definitive report. We will be discussing some aspects of this in the next show, I know. But one of the things that struck me as new, one of the people being interviewed on it said that what they discovered is that quartz buried deep in the earth, 60, 90 miles deep in the ground, when it comes under pressure from seismic or tectonic activity, it releases electricity into the atmosphere, which can take the form of plasma balls. So you get these balls of light, and many of these, many of them, they're relatively rare, but many of these have been seen on the eve of earthquakes and volcanoes and such. Like, people suddenly see lights dancing around there because apparently they interact with the dust in the atmosphere, which can cause them to, they can stay still for a while, and then they encounter a dust particle that sends them berserk, and they go flying off in another direction very, very faster than an aircraft could suddenly, because it's insubstantial. It's just a ball of light. I guess it can travel at the speed of light if it wants to. So I looked it up. I looked it up on National Geographic to see if that really was a thing, or if this was just some guy with a homespun theory about it. And apparently, rare lights have long been seen near earthquakes and other seismic events. They've been called UFOs, but in fact, they go back far enough that they were attributed to witches or hobgoblins or fairies in the days before people thought about visitors from other worlds. Well, I suppose fairies are by definition interdimensional beings.
Oh, well, if they're flying and we can't identify them, they are UFOs. But I'm going to pick you up on a few points of what you've just said.
The Department of Defense refers to them as UAP because a UFO is it's a flying object. It's a thing. It's some kind of craft. Whereas when you can be the more vaguely, when you say unidentified aerial phenomena, that means it's not necessarily an unidentified craft. It could be a ball of light, or it could be a trick of the the atmosphere.
Absolutely, UAP is far more precise and far more relevant.
More precise by being more vague, I guess.
I agree. Yes,
more all encompassing. Yes,
more correct. How about that?
Yes.
But I'm going to pick you up. So first of all, you said I recommended this documentary to you. What I said was, there's a new documentary about UFOs tonight, in case you want to watch it. That's not a recommendation from me.
No, I took that as a direct order.
Oh yeah, it was an order. I'll go with that. But no, it wasn't a recommendation as in, oh, this is really good, because I thought it was a bit shit, to be honest. We won't name this particular documentary, but I didn't think it was all that.
It was nothing more than you'd expect from Channel 5. Let's put it that way.
I've seen good stuff on Channel 5, but that's not what. Anyway, so now you mentioned about this, the quartz giving off the electricity under heavy amounts of pressure. Now you said that, and to be fair, the documentary gave it as fact. No, that's a theory. It's only theorized that happens. It's not been proven that I'm aware of. But you are absolutely 100% correct when you say that strange lights have been seen around, and we even said this on the tsunami episode, that is a common theme with earthquakes is UFOs. Strange lights being seen beforehand and during. So yeah, absolutely. We don't know what's causing it though.
Well, it's a good scientific theory, and it's I guess there are ways. I mean, they've studied it over a number of years, and I mean, to me, and it's my job to say this. It sounds it sounds more plausible than extraterrestrials correcting a wobble.
I don't know. In order for it to, I don't know. It sounds a bit strange. I'm not suggesting that. Anyway, back onto the this volcanic UFO. So, have you seen the V-shaped footage? That's the key.
No, I haven't. Right.
So this consists of it's a rough V-shaped formation. It's not perfectly even. I tried counting how many that they're either white or very, very light in colour. So that they're light or light coloured objects. Inside this, it was to the point that the footage was there and it was showing this ash cloud and you couldn't see anything at all. And then it zoomed right in, and it was only when it was zoomed in you could actually make this thing out. And it seemed to be, I counted 15. Now, that might not be an accurate count because the image is distorted, to say the least. It's also in amongst a cloud, it would seem. Many theories have been put forward by it, and in fact, I think the presenter at the time said, "Oh, look, there's a flock of geese."
Flying through a volcano.
Yeah. Now that raises a number of questions, because animals and birds are famously known for not being around when there's a major disaster. And in fact, departing before they even happen. Well,
but they have more acute senses, so that for an animal, seismic events start happening before they start happening to us. They realise it and they run.
Exactly, and surely flying through a volcanic cloud would mean that they'd be cooked.
I would imagine, yes.
And the other aspect to this as well is this V formation appears to be hovering rather than flying.
Now, we've talked about these V formations before, when people saw a large, dark, triangular shape in the night sky. and it's speculated that what they're seeing is some lights in a V shape, V formation, or part of a V formation, and what's happening is that when the lights seem to make the area between the lights darker than the rest of the sky. So it gives the appearance of an actual solid object when really it's not. It is just lights.
I would say that this particular one is quite different from that in that it seemed to me to be a number of different objects. It didn't look to be one object. It was quite hard to tell because, when it's light-coloured objects, they merge into one because of exposures and things. But no, this did seem to be a number of different objects, and the fact it wasn't kind of straight lines either.
Now, someone did speculate that this is where the extraterrestrials live, and they'll set up a volcano every now and then just to keep us away. Just to stop us exploring
volcanoes.
Yeah, exploring where their hideout might be. Well, we'll just set up a volcano just to seal the entrance, maybe, or tell you to get lost. Or that has been speculated.
Okay,
in many places, not by me. I'm just telling you that.
I'm not going to join in.
There's speculation that extraterrestrials have set off a volcano just to warn us off.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
But if lights in the sky are a natural phenomenon and they are a foreshadowing of some seismic event like a volcano or an earthquake, well, I would suggest if you live in Wyoming and you see bright lights in the sky over Yellowstone Park, don't bother running. You're done for. You might as well get it in the first blast. We've all had it if that goes off, and it's overdue.
Oh, yeah. Was it 40,000 years overdue?
Something like that.
Yellowstone, the Yellowstone caldera. And, yeah, if that goes off, the world is... That's an apocalyptic event on a global scale. Yeah, and it was overdue. Yeah, I think it's either 40 or 50,000 years ago. Should have happened.
I mean, on a less catastrophic note, the volcano that erupted in Iceland in 2010, they said that was the little brother to a larger volcano that's right next to it. And historically, when the little one goes off, the big one goes off a short time afterwards. Although, I guess in geological terms, a short time afterwards could be decades, centuries.
Well, we're 12 years. Yeah, I would want definition as to what they mean by a short time for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, Iceland is a pretty volcanic place, isn't it? So imagine that.
It is. Well, from what I understand, I'm no geologist, but yeah.
No, they seem to be going off all the time. Land of ice and fire. But that's the first time in my life an earthquake big enough has gone off to actually ground aircraft all over. Certainly all over Europe. I don't know if it was the whole world, but it was quite a...
It felt like the whole world for us in Europe.
Our little piece of the world.
Yeah. And it's been speculated as well that one of the strange things about it is how quickly the ash cloud seemed to cover Europe. It seemed to be it went off 1 minute and the ash cloud was covering the whole of Europe the next moment, which surely it takes time.
Surely it takes time. I would imagine transatlantic travel would have been affected first because so many flights, they don't go in a straight line because the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. A straight line isn't the shortest distance between 2 points. If you fly between London and New York, you actually tack north a bit and come over in an arc, and that actually is a shorter journey, which takes you certainly into that region. So
can I show off for just a moment?
Please
I like
do.
to, Neil.
You have the floor.
You're quite correct when you said that the Earth is not a sphere. It is an oblate spheroid.
Wow.
There you go. That's the official name for its shape is an oblate spheroid.
An oblate spheroid. Now, I knew that it wasn't a sphere, but now I know what it is.
Oblate spheroids. So do our listeners. Okay, so thinking about strange lights around volcanoes and, around earthquakes as well, tectonic shifts. Let's summarise what we think. So, Neil, have at it. Tell me what you think.
I think it's an interesting theory. I've read about. I didn't take that guy's word for it. I looked it up in National Geographic. I think there's something to it. I certainly think it merits more investigation, but I'm sure it is being investigated. I'm sure geologists are looking into this phenomenon as they look into all sorts of other things. So yeah. I would more attribute these lights in the sky around these events to some sort of natural phenomenon before I'd press the ET button.
Do you get much many quartz deposits in volcanic areas?
I don't know. I'm not a geologist, but we're talking about quartz that's buried very, very deep. Talking miles deep. 60, 90 miles deep.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And I do get what you're saying, that yes, a natural answer would be sensible. And for the most part, do you know what? I'm going to agree that would certainly be an explanation for a lot of things. I don't think that's the case here with Eyjafjallajökull. I will keep trying to say it. It was amusing it wasn't amusing at the time. It was a devastating event, but one of the little bits of it that was slightly amusing was watching the newsreaders struggle with the name. A lot of them didn't even bother trying. But yeah,
well, I've got Fagradalsfjall Geldingadelia. Geldingadelia. My apologies.
That's a different one.
Is it?
Yes.
But there's still a YouTube video about a strange UFO flying over Iceland's Fagradalsfjall Geldingadelia volcano.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. Yeah, that's a different UFO.
All right.
So does that change your mind a little bit? The fact that, or do you think, well, that just adds weight to the whole? It's a natural phenomenon.
Oh, I'm digging my heels in. Yeah, I'm
okay.
I'm going to be beyond reason on this for a while. Anyway, I think it's an interesting theory, and I think it's one that you've got to debunk before you can say yes, these are UFOs. These are intelligent.
I absolutely agree on that point. I think looking at this specific one, the Eyjafjallajökull case with the V formation, certainly you don't get balls of plasma behaving in that manner. However, I'm also going to say I don't think this is a UFO. I think that the presenters were absolutely right when they said, "Oh, look, it's a flock of birds." Because
and they're on
we're
fire.
not getting, because what we're not getting is perspective. The birds could have been miles this side of, like, towards the camera from the ash cloud, miles from it, but it just looks, because of the size of the ash cloud, it looks like it's in amongst it when in fact it's not. And it would have looked like it's hovering, again, because of the distances involved. So that's my personal theory on this, that nothing to see here, nothing of any UFO interest. But you know what, we might be wrong. So listeners, have a look at the footage, let us know what you think. We always want to know what you think.
I've been wrong before. My wife sometimes reminds me of it. That time I was wrong about something.
That one time, yes. And
it's always yesterday. It's in this perpetual yesterday that I was.
Yesterday you were always a day away, as Annie said. No, that was tomorrow, but never mind. So let us know what you think about this particular case. Is it just a flock of birds? Is it marsh gases bouncing off Saturn, or is it an actual UFO? Write in and let us know in the usual places. You can email us, aliensexplored@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching Aliens Explored. Or, of course, we are on aliensexplored.com as well, where you can listen to all our previous episodes. Do join us next time, though, when we'll be talking about potentially an ex-colleague of yours, although someone I doubt you've ever met, the ex-Ministry of Defence British ufologist Nick Pope. We're discussing.
Looking forward to that.
Indeed. So you don't want to miss that one. In the meantime,
I won't.
In the meantime, keep watching those seismic events and the skies. Take care for now.
So once again, apologies for the delay, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Aliens Explored is a Fecal Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Darren Mafucci and editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Twitter or Facebook by searching Aliens Explored, or visit us on aliensexplored.com.